If you look at a map of the state of Georgia, you'll see that the St. Mary's River forms the southernmost border of the state. When you cross the river at that point, you're into Florida. I enjoy fishing at the northwestern stretch of the river, near the town of Folkestone. There's lots of little streams and creeks where you can fish for bluegill, crappie, and even bass. I usually park my truck just a few yards from the bank, whip out my cooler, tackle box, folding chair, radio, and enjoy a few hours of fishing and relaxation. One particular Saturday in May of 2018, I'd gone down to one of my favorite little spots with the idea of catching enough for a nice fish fry with extra to go into the freezer for the following weekend. I usually did the basic thing, flour them down and toss them into a cast iron skillet and enjoy them with some coleslaw and home fries. Anyway, I did end up with a decent catch, enough for my plans anyway, and I'd gotten everything broken down and back onto the truck by about 7:30 that evening. As I pulled back onto the highway, I took notice of how fantastic the early stages of sunset was on the river. I'd easily be home by dark. Now, I'd barely gotten a mile down the highway when I happened to glance over to my left. About 20 yards off the highway, there was a marshy area with high reeds. My eyes happened to catch movement down by the edge of the water. At first, I thought maybe a deer or maybe even a bear might have come down to the water's edge to drink. I slowed down a little bit to see if I could get a better look, and then decided to just go ahead and pull off to the side of the road. If I was lucky, I wouldn't scare it off. So I stepped out of the truck, and the minute I did, I knew that I'd made a huge mistake. At that moment, this thing rose up out of the grass, and when it did, I heard what sounded like bone snapping. I can remember quietly mouthing the words, "What the fuck is that thing?" It looked like a giant black wolf, except that it was standing on two goddamn legs. Now, when I say giant, I mean that from the distance away that I was, I could tell that this creature was about 8 feet tall. I was frozen in place. I saw it sniff the air, and then it turned and looked right at me. I could see it had crazy orange eyes, and it squinted its eyes, then let out a deep growl and took a few steps in my direction. Now that's all it took to snap me out of my trance, because I jumped my ass back into the truck and tore off down the highway. All the way home, my hands gripped the wheel like a vice, and I was sweating like a racehorse. Every so often, I glanced into the rearview mirror just to be sure that it wasn't chasing after me. I kept glancing back until I'd gotten 2 or 3 miles from home. Once I got home, I dipped deep into the whiskey. Now, like I said before, that had been one of my favorite areas for fishing. And I haven't been back there since. And I damn sure never will go back again.